Alright, so we are going to be graphing our point slope. So make sure you guys are paying attention, taking notes, take your headphones out.
Yes, okay. Hey, Beto, take your headphones out.
There we go.
Just because you're 10 times smarter.
So we're going to be graphing y minus 1 equals 2 over 3, and in parentheses x minus 2. So real quick, I'm going to get my generic equation up here. Y minus y1 equals m x minus x1. Okay, so what I need to do is I need to get my point. So I need to get my x and y from x1 and y1. But it's going to be a little sneaky in here. So I'm going to start with, my x1 is 2. Excuse me, x1 is negative 2. Right there. And my y1 is negative 1. But this isn't quite right, because in our formula, you see how we're going x minus and y minus?
Yeah.
What that means is that the number afterwards has the wrong sign on it, because minus says do the opposite sign. So instead of being at negative 2, negative 1, because my formula has minuses in there, I need to change the sign. This is really a positive 2, where my point starts at, and this is really a positive 1. So you got to be careful. It's kind of sneaky. So even though x1 is negative 2, y1 is negative 1, that isn't exactly the right numbers I needed. So I'm really at positive 2, positive 1. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to 2, 1, the point on my graph. 1, 2, 1, and I'm going to put my dot. And this is kind of like your y-intercept, kind of like when you first graphed B.
Why is there a staple on it?
From this dot, we are going to follow our slope, which is m. My slope is 2 over 3. So from my dot, I'm going to go up 1, 2, right 1, 2, 3. Remember, x, y is x first. Coordinate is an x comma y, left and right first, then up and down, but slope is backwards. So make sure you're keeping track. So I went to 2, 1, and I put my dot, and from there I'm going to follow my slope, which is 2 over 3. And I'm going to do it a couple of times. Follow my slope a few times to make my line a little nicer. And I'm going to work backwards. Go down 1, 2, left 1, 2, 3, just to make it look a little nicer. It's better, even though it's kind of harder to draw longer lines, it's better to have a longer line than a really tiny line, because it's easier to see what you're doing. And then we can't just draw dots though, we got to connect our dots and put some arrows on the end to show that it's a line that goes on forever. We're going to practice this a couple more times and then that'll be it. We're finishing off the lesson from Friday, so it's not very long. We're going to graph this next equation. Y plus 2 equals negative 1, x minus 3. So I need two things. I need to get my point, and I need my n. So we're going to start with our point, and then we'll find n here. So I need to get my x1 and my y1. So x1 is negative 3. Y1 is 2, but we got to be careful because my formula is x minus x1, y minus y1, which means I got to change my signs. So instead of a negative 3, I'm going to have a positive 3. Instead of a positive 2, I'm going to have a negative 2. This is the only time this really changes, whenever you graph point slope. Because our formula says we have opposite numbers there because of the minuses. So my point is really 3, negative 2. And my m is right here in front of my parentheses. It's negative 1, but let's make it a fraction by going over 1, just to help us remember that we got to go over. So we got everything we need, we just need to grab it. So I'm going to go, my point is 3, negative 2, right 1, 2, 3, down 1, 2. Remember it's x comma y. And then from there we follow our slope, and slope is backwards. Slope is negative 1 over 1, which means I'm going down 1, right 1. Down 1, right 1. And I'm going to do this a few times. I'm going to go backwards a little bit just to make my line a little nicer. Yeah, it's good now. And from there, I'll connect my dots and put some arrows on the end, just to show that I've made a line and not just a bunch of dots.
Wait, why is he skipping this one?
All right, into your first in-class problem. I want you to graph this one in the box. You're going to graph y plus 7 equals -4/5, and then in parentheses, x minus 4. So on your own, on your paper, graph this. Check with your partner once you're done. Make sure you got the same answer. We'll have somebody put it on the board here in a minute or so. And then we're actually just about done.
Wait, so the top one?
Like I said, not a very long lesson today. For your point. But our formula is y minus y1 and x minus x1. So really, we're going to have to flip around and do the opposite. We're really going to have a positive 4 and a negative 7. So, yep. And that's the point you're going to graph. And then follow your slope like one.
That's right.
Yep, as long as you counted, right?
Yeah.
Yep, looks good. So you should be graphing this on your paper, check with your partner so you can get the same answer. And then we'll have somebody do it on the board for us. Or somebody's being by me. I'm just kidding. You guys gonna get started on this?
I'm done.
Maybe another time.
Wait a minute, I'm stuck right here now. It's a -4.
So you the opposite.
No, it's rise up and run. Rise up and run. You go down 4.
No, because it's
You go down 4 and right.
that's a positive, and that's a negative.
Numbers are really backwards. Like that should be a
No, you go 4 down. You go 4 up and then 5 down.
So after you get your numbers, because the
What?
every time you make your number balance, it's backwards. So really, you need to cut 4 -7. Remember, you need to cut your left to right first. Slope is backwards. Surely you're gonna go right.
You cut yours. Now you
Oh no.
No,
it was 3rd grade. I knew it was 3rd grade.
Second for you can
what does that mean? That was like, kind of confused.
You know what?
All right, we're gonna have somebody do this on the board for us.
Are you gonna cry?
Man, meeny, miny. The calculator chooses.
Don't be me.
Chooses. Mess with my numbers. Never kidding. Oh, it's Ruben. Oh my god.
No.
Ruben.
I didn't do anything.
Oh, that's fast. You should probably practice this. Now you look stupid on YouTube.
Oh.
Alright, so we gotta get our
You must feel
point.
so
We gotta get our M,
embarrassed.
Ruben. Let's start with the easy one. That's the M.
I can do it first. I can do it for you, Ruben.
What's our M, Ruben?
Did you ever finish it?
That formula up there.
Can you
I got a
see?
black super bow tie.
Okay, so let's write it down so we got it.
You see.
Teleportation circle.
What is that?
Go a little smaller there.
Ew.
Ruben, quit running so big.
Gross.
Alright, and then we need a point on our line. So, what's our X on this point gonna be, Ruben? Whenever we get it from X1. So, we're gonna start with -4, but remember, our formula is X
Positive.
minus. So we gotta change that negative to a positive. So we're gonna have +4, so over somewhere on the side, start with +4. Let's write it out before we graph it. So over our, so our first thing is gonna be 4. That's a little better. And then, we're gonna have a comma because it's an XY coordinates, put a comma there. And then what's our Y going to be? But remember it's Y minus, so it's not 7, it's negative 7. So you got to be careful, it's kind of sneaky. Our formula's weird. Alright, so Ruben, draw the point for negative 7 on your graph. Because that's where we're going to start. There's 1. Okay, keep going. No, wrong way.
Oh my god.
Left and right first. So start in the middle. Okay, now go right 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now go down 7.
The other saving?
3, 4, 5, 6. One more. There you go. Alright, put your dot.
buddy.
Put your dot. Just put the dot. Alright, now from there, follow your slope. From that dot, follow your slope. No, remember rise over run now. Slope is backwards, so go down 4, right 5.
Yes, that's my arrow. Don't judge.
4, yeah, just now right 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. Put your, no, too far. One left. No. Right there. Down, down, down.
Oh
Right
my
there.
god, Ruben,
Just
you're
right there. Right there.
Make a wish out this young man.
I believe it.
Wish of
Good enough. Good enough, Ruben. Alright. Let's just connect your dots. We're gonna be
Hey,
here all day
wait,
if
no,
we wait for
I thought you needed to do the other dots too.
Yeah, you should, but we're gonna be here all day for this.
No, Ruben, you used to do it, Mr.
That's-
Dalton. What is it? Look at this dude.
Sega.
We're gonna call it good enough.
Oh, sorry.
Probably pay attention and actually practice these. It can be so tough.
Look at this dude.
Let's
That's what I was
finish this
playing
off
on.
a little bit. Put some arrows and something.
This.
Alright, that's it. So we are just practicing graphing today, so that is it.
You should go to the
That
bar
was
and
hilarious.
have
Yeah. So,
No, you weren't.
Yeah, not dirty.
so for this exit ticket, do it on your paper, and kind of like last time, I'll walk around and check them. So wait, don't just show me. I'll walk around and check everybody's in a little bit. So in about 3 or 4 minutes. So hang on, don't show me, Willie.
You must be
Just
so
wait.
embarrassed.
And then I will turn the exit ticket, or no, I'll check your exit ticket and put your homework on Google Classroom in just a second.